welcome to ONTV News. I'm Jessie Agnew. Although fall doesn't arrive until Sunday, September 22nd, Orion Township invited residents to get into the fall frame of mind with Barn Days on September 7th. On September 9th, 2000, the community came together for a good old-fashioned barn raising when the historic Porritt Barn was moved to Friendship Park from its original location. Since then, an annual fall festival has been held on the grounds of the park located at Baldwin and Clarkston Roads to celebrate this historic milestone. From 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., visiting families had a wide variety of activities to choose from, including a petting farm, pony rides, hay maze, and games. A wagon ride took visitors through the woods where Civil War reenactors took shots at each other. The price of admission was $5 per carload, with proceeds benefiting Orion Township's community programs and services. For more information about the Township's upcoming events, visit the newly revamped website at oriontownship.org. Over the last few years, the UAW has been doing their part to give back to Detroit by building handicap ramps and making local homes ADA accessible. Recently, they decided to branch out to the surrounding communities. Ford and the UAW teamed up with the DNR to help transform one of the rustic cabins at the Bald Mountain Recreation Area into an ADA accessible structure. Morrill Cabin is one of 2 rustic cabins within the park available for the public to rent.
The rustic cabin area we actually have there are 2 rustic cabins that we have for rent for people to come and have a camping experience. The cabins are rustic, so there's no electricity. It's just bunk beds inside. They sleep up to 20 people. There's a wood burning stove. There's picnic tables, a fire circle to have a campfire. These cabins have been here since, one of them's been here since 1940, roughly the 1940s. One's been here since 1978.
This summer, the UAW Ford Community Service Team constructed and installed a universally accessible deck. On Tuesday, September 10th, a dedication ceremony was held, officially opening the cabin and its new ADA accessible ramp to the community. And while the project had been planned for a while, the partnership with the UAW Ford Community Service Team made it a reality much sooner than expected.
This project was planned to be done, but it was probably going to be a long-term project. The partnership just brought the project closer to fruition than what we were going to actually do. So without this project, it would not have been done this quickly. The partnership was actually developed by my supervisor, and they've actually got together and talked about some different projects here in the Metro Detroit area and the downtown Detroit area that they wanted to do. So the partnership was developed earlier this year, and some projects were offered up to them, and they thought that the projects were kind of in the realm of what their scope was, of what their mission was, and so they decided to do some of the projects and work with the state parks.
This is the second project the UAW Ford Community Service Team has completed for the state park. The service team was conceived as a way the UAW could give back to their community using the knowledge and skills they already possess.
Working with Ford Motor Company, Ford Motor Company works with us to get these guys so that we can use them for projects like this. We build handicap ramps. We also work with other organizations to help build houses to make them handicap accessible and stuff. So it fits right into what we're doing here with the DNR. About a year and a half now that we've been out doing this throughout the city of Detroit basically, and we branched out a little bit to help out because it was a situation where we help Detroit out, and I got 2 crews, and I got 1 crew in Detroit. Then I help out communities around, just like the DNR out here, you know. And it's something that we've come up with to help the state of Michigan out.
To learn more about the UAW Ford Community Service Team, visit uawfordcommunity.org. Bald Mountain Recreation Area is located at 1330 East Green Shield Road in Lake Orion. For details about the park and its amenities, call 248-693-6767 or visit michigan.gov/baldmountain. The Friends of the Orion Township Public Library are currently holding their annual Gently Used book sale. The event runs from Tuesday, September 17th through Saturday, September 21st. The sale is held in the large meeting room to the right when you come through the front doors of the library. The first day of the sale was reserved for the Friends Preview Night, but it opened to the public beginning on Wednesday. On Wednesday and Thursday from 9:30 until 8:30 p.m., anyone can come to browse and buy. On Friday, the sale runs from 9:30 until 4:30 and everything is half off. On Saturday, you pay just $5 for as many books as you can fit into a paper grocery bag provided by the Friends. Saturday hours are 9:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. All of the proceeds from the book sale are used to benefit the library. For more information, contact the Friends at 248-693-3000 extension 350 or email otpl.friends@gmail.com. Don't forget to tune into Orion at Your Library, the new monthly library program on ONTV. Each month, Library Director Karen Knox will preview upcoming events, new book and media releases, and keep you up to date on all that is happening at the Orion Township Library. Check our website's program guide at orionontv.org for airtimes. You can also watch the program on demand on our YouTube channel. We now turn our attention to local sports. After squeaking out an opening day win in Oxford, the Dragons returned home to open up divisional play against the Red Hawks of Troy Athens on September 6th. Things started off rough for the Dragons. On their opening drive, Chris Lee fumbled the handoff. The Red Hawks would scoop up the ball and take it into the end zone, getting off to an early 7-0 lead. But Lake Orion would quickly turn their fortunes around, scoring on their next drive on a Zach Arnold touchdown run, tying the game at 7 apiece. They would quickly score again, this time on a run up the middle by Matt Krause. Dragons led 14-7 after 1 quarter of play. The rest of the game belonged to Lake Orion. Connor Grant connected with Zach Arnold halfway through the second quarter for a 15-yard touchdown. He would throw another touchdown pass to Josh Daze late in the second quarter. The Dragons led at halftime 27-7. The Dragons were held off the board for most of the third quarter, but with 27 seconds left, Corey Esther got into the end zone on a tossback from 40 yards out. Dragons 33, Red Hawks 7. The Dragons would score once more in the fourth, this time on a Zach Arnold run from the Dragons' own 35, clinching the 40-7 victory.
Broke a tackle. He's got a first down and more.
Yes, he does.
And there goes, there's the speed.
Wow, wow, wow.
Touchdown, Lake Orion Dragons.
The Dragons were right back at it in the following week, this time taking on the Lakers of West Bloomfield. Lake Orion got off to a faster start than the week before, scoring on the opening drive on a 4-yard run by Matt Krause. Lake Orion would force West Bloomfield to punt the ball back on their opening drive. On their very next possession, the Dragons scored again, this time on a 1-yard run by Chris Lee, Dragons up 14-0. Lake Orion's defense held strong and forced the Lakers to punt again, a theme that would repeat itself all night. With 44 seconds left in the first quarter, the Dragons put up more points. Corey Esther would get into the end zone on the ground from 2 yards out, widening their lead 21-0. The Dragons weren't done scoring in the first quarter. After Esther returned another punt for 30 yards, Dominic Giovinazzo ran for 10 yards for a touchdown with 7 seconds left in the first quarter. Dragons up big, 28-0. The Lakers would finally get on the board late in the second half. Nevin Mosley cut the deficit to 28-6 on a 1-yard touchdown run with 22 seconds left in the half. Lake Orion came out in the third quarter and continued their dominance. Esther got his second TD of the night, this time from 14 yards out, extending the Dragons' lead to 35-6. Both the Lakers and the Dragons would score again, but with the game well in hand, the Dragons turned to their bench to finish the game. Backup quarterback Cameron Costas threw a touchdown pass to Drew Casey for 16 yards to close things out. Final score, Lake Orion 49, West Bloomfield 12. You can catch replays of both these games right here on ONTV. Visit orionontv.org and navigate to the program guide for dates and airtimes. You can also visit our YouTube page to view the games on demand. In other Dragon sports news, our very own Chris Arita got an in-depth look at the boys varsity tennis team at their match against Clarkston. Here is Chris with the story.
The boys varsity tennis team took to their home court on September 10th for the first time this season. Their match against the rival Clarkston Wolves, of whom won the division in 2012 and pose a tough matchup for the Dragons. I caught up with a few players asking how they felt about the day's match and the season thus far.
Pretty good. We've had 2 losses. We swept the Romeo tournament though. That was a pretty dominant win. Beat Stony and looking pretty good. Whenever I get a chance, I always pass on some experience. Captain Palmer, he always gives me pointers and I always ask him questions and he helps me pretty good. I've learned to play more calmly, keep my head in the game. Try to work on my second serve consistency and just keep playing.
I later met with the captain and asked him about his role on this Dragons 2013 squad.
I'm the #1 player on the team, being the first singles player, as well as I'm the captain. We definitely knew Clarkston was going to be a strong opponent. Yeah, I definitely think we've improved. We only graduated a couple singles players. You know, they were in the upper part of our lineup, but we have a bunch of kids returning who've gotten better and playing the same position. So I have to say we've gotten better. Well, it's just setting an example, especially with me being the best player on the team. I have to kind of set the bar for how we practice, how we train, and hopefully transition to wins in the matches.
It was a hot day at Lake Orion High School, and all the players fought very hard. For the day, the Dragons took a loss to the Wolves of Clarkston. However, the season is young, and after the day's matches, I spoke with the Dragons head coach, who was optimistic about the loss and eager to move forward.
We performed pretty much as well as we could have. It's kind of ironic, but I actually coach year-round a lot of the Clarkston players at Deer Lake Athletic Club, so I knew what was coming to us today. I think we did the best we could. We ended up losing 2-7, but definitely looking forward to seeing these guys again at leagues and regionals. So we'll definitely see them a couple more times in the season, and hopefully we can reverse some of the losses that we had today. Palmer's done a great job as our senior captain. He's really organized and orchestrated a lot of good things at practice. They've done some team building and team bonding activities outside of practice, which has been good and fun for the kids. But I actually teach at a different school than Lake Orion, and when I come out here to practice, they're already working before I get out here. So I definitely appreciate the kids being mature enough and disciplined enough to do that.
Reporting for ONTV Sports from Lake Orion High School, I'm Chris Arita.
1, 2, 3, Dragons!
Thanks, Chris. Middle school cross country began the 2013 season on Monday, September 9th with the Lake Orion Middle School meet held at Walton Middle School. Parents and runners alike were nervous for the start of the race. For the new 6th graders on the team, this would be their first ever cross-country racing experience. Runners from Walden, Scripps, and Oakview Middle Schools went head-to-head for the right to claim their school as the fastest. The 6th graders were first off the line for their 1-mile race under hot and sunny conditions. The course wound its way through the grounds of Walden Middle School. The racers ran over hills, through fields, and even the woods. Cheering parents, coaches, and teachers waited with water and snacks for the tired competitors at the finish. The 7th and 8th grade runners began in a mass at the start, with the faster competitors separating themselves from the pack. The race would cover over 2 miles from start to finish. The final times for all the racers would be logged and used for motivation at their next race. The coaches emphasize time and not necessarily place at this age. The clock is your opponent and best times are the goal. We wish all the runners well during the season. The Alliance Girls U11 team was on the road to Northern Michigan for the Petoskey Autumn Blast soccer tournament held the weekend of September 6th through the 9th. This tournament is known for having the best playing surface in the Midwest, and teams from all over the state love the fast and level fields. The Alliance U11 girls had 3 matches over the weekend and finished with 1 win and 2 losses. Their first loss was to Waza East. The Alliance held the powerful Waza to a tie at half, 0-0. Waza would pour on the offense, though, in the second half, taking the win 5-0. The U11 ladies would move on to the evening game and squeak out a narrow victory 1-0 on a goal by Anna Sikta. Goalkeeper Lauren Nepchuk was outstanding in goal all weekend long, securing the shutout win. The U11 ladies would put up a good fight in their final match against Impact SC, but ultimately fell 3-0. ONTV would love to hear from our viewers. Send in your youth sports scores and stories. ONTV will use your submissions on the air during our next program. Email your stories to ONTV@orionontv.org today. That's it for this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the entire crew, I'm Jessie Agnew. Thanks for watching.